Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. On this installation, first job was to fit a transom mount to the kayak. I did this using some steel plate, some aluminium angle and some mahogany hardwood ply. As you can see, this is bolted through the existing rudder steering hole, and I've also added two 6mm stainless steel wound nuts just to secure it firmly to the kayak. After searching around for some time on the internet, I came up with this motor. It's the Hanswing Sapien 40-pound thrust trawling motor. Seems suitable for my needs, and it's also suitable for fresh and saltwater use. Okay, so the motor arrived in pretty good time, and I offered it up to the kayak to get an idea of how things were going to fit together. And it fitted onto the transom mount quite nicely, but as you can see, looks pretty ridiculous at this stage. Obviously there's no control from the cockpit, so it's time, despite manufacturer's warranty or guarantee, to start chopping things about and modifying it to suit the kayak. So at this stage I've removed the head from the trawling motor. This involves actually taking out about 7 screws in total. This exposes the wiring in the switch, and the first job is obviously to disconnect all the wiring from the switch mount itself. The switch comes out as well. This will be safe for later. This is going to be put into a control box for future use, and it's quite useful because all the contacts on the switch are actually labelled per colour, so it's quite straightforward to take apart and put back together again. So having removed the head of the trawling motor, it's now time to decide on where to trim the shaft down to get a correct overall length to make it look proportional. I took off around about 16-18 inches from the shaft length, and then fitted the elbow and fed the wiring up through the elbow. So that stage was pretty much complete. I decided to use the existing rudder pedals for steerage along with the existing control arms. The only thing I had to do was come up with a linkage to join these to the motor. So I manufactured this out of aluminium using two 8mm eye bolts, and it seemed quite successful when trialled. As you can see, the motor tips up and down quite nicely using the existing rudder tilt line, and also the steering control arms seem to work quite good with a good turn radius on the actual motor. Okay, so the next job was to build the control box. Once I decided on the box I was going to use, I bought some cable of the same colour as the existing cables that were in this switch unit. Soldered these in, wrapped them in heat shrink to insulate them, and also decided to fit a voltmeter so I could see what the current battery voltage was as I was using it on the motor. So once this was all soldered up and sealed up, as you can see, it looked quite tidy. All ready to go onto the kayak, just a plug to fit on the opposite end. In order to make everything removable from the kayak, decided to use these 7-pin plugs. They're a little bit fiddly, but my brother helped me immensely with the wiring on these. Decided to fit two little blanks onto the kayak, this one at the back and another one on the side, replacing one of the flush rod holders, as you can see there. And we were all done, ready to go. So hopefully it works out okay. Enjoy the rest of the video, and we'll speak to you again later. It's setting up, so motor's on, cable comes down to the flange. Obviously that's the one we've got to wire up. And come back out, battery box is now connected, positive, negative, down through to switch box, and then from the switch box down into socket.